Typically, we begin our program with words of wisdom from the top, and so we always ask the University of Oregon president to give us some words of wisdom in this, with regard, in this case, to integrative science. So it is my pleasure to introduce University of Oregon President Richard LaRiviere.
That's a pretty tough introduction because I now have to come up with words of wisdom. All I had is words of welcome. Well, maybe that's wise enough for this hour on a Saturday morning, especially after I'm just back from a long several days at the Pendleton Roundup. And I hope you noticed how spry I was coming up those steps, and it hurt, every one of them. Well, this is one of my favorite events of the year because this is a university at its best. It is the very epitome of collaboration, of great science, and of commercialization of great science. And that's why we're here. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge some people who have been great fans of this program and of the university, and who have paid careful attention to the work that's done by the people in this room throughout their entire tenures. Senator Doug Whitsett of Klamath Falls is here with us. Senator, thank you. Representative Nancy Nathanson of Eugene. All right, Nancy. And Representative Paul Holvey, also of Eugene. A university's research agenda and its ability to commercialize its research is largely in the hands of the Vice President for Research. And we are very lucky here. We have had 10 years of service by a superb Vice President of Research, Rich Linton. Under Rich's leadership, he has led the university's research enterprise to greater and greater heights. One of the things that dazzled me when I came here, I had come from 3 years working very closely with the Kaufman Foundation, which focuses on entrepreneurship, and particularly concerned with translation of research from university laboratories into the marketplace. And I knew that for most universities, if they do 2 or 3% return on their research expenditures in a year, that's pretty good. One of the things that dazzled me when I came here is that the University of Oregon had received about $100 million in federally sponsored research the year before, and also $7 million in payments for intellectual property. That's a 7% return. There are only a handful of universities in the world that have that kind of rate of commercialization of their research. It's largely due to the vision that Rich Linton has brought to this task, his vision for collaboration and pushing the envelope of scientific research, but understanding that that research really only has value if it can be translated into value for society. And he has nurtured programs like the Material Science Institute's Industrial Internship Program very effectively. We are deeply in your debt, Rich. Thank you. It's not just the University of Oregon that I want to extol here. I want to extol all of the faculty, all of the institutions that focus on the collaborative, the remarkable collaborative efforts of ONAMI, of ETIC, and BEST. I've been in academia for longer than I care to think now, more than 30 years, and I've never been in an environment that was more collaborative than this one. The faculty don't choose to get equipment and not share it. The faculty don't choose to make discoveries and not share them. The faculty choose to push the boundaries of what we know, and that is really wonderful and remarkable. We are very lucky in Oregon that we have that kind of entrepreneurial and collaborative spirit. But I'm also very proud of this university's own record. This university is one of the top 10 producers of master's degrees in chemistry in the country, and those people are going into industry directly. We are a funnel for what we discover in the lab and how it can influence industry, and that is exactly where we want to be. The key to our success is that we provide values both to our students but also to the companies that are interested in what our students are doing. I'm delighted to see this turnout here. I'm also delighted, after having been in Eastern Oregon, where Oregon State is everywhere, to see so much green in the audience today. Thank you for making me feel back home. And thank you for your support for this program. It is a great program. It's worthy of our time. It's worthy of our energies, and we wouldn't be able to do it without your support. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is my good colleague, Jim Hutchison. Jim is the Vice President for Research and Strategic Initiatives. He's also a professor in the chemistry department, and he's going to tell us about integrative science.
Well, it's a really great opportunity today to talk about integrative science. As has been said, we've highlighted a lot of different programs over the last decade of these science odysseys, and to finally bring it together is really exciting. And before I do that, I want to extend my welcome to everyone. It's just fantastic to see so many people here, and as has been said already a couple of times, I mean, this is absolutely one of my favorite events every year. Just to take a moment or a day, tailgate or a football game, and reflect on the partnerships that we've had across the state, and it's really exciting to see that. This year's theme is integrative science, and I've been asked to spend a little bit of time talking about what that is and how we're implementing it here at the university. One of the things about integrative science is that it really builds on that really long established history of interdisciplinary work that we've had at the University of Oregon. Ever since the 50s, we've been doing interdisciplinary science, and that's now really something that most universities do. I think we're taking that really to a next level that extends beyond what might be the traditional partners, where we think about, let's say, chemistry and physics working together, or chemistry and biology, and really thinking about the breadth of opportunity, the non-traditional partners. Let's say, for example, neuroscience, brain research, connecting with education, which at least on our campus is pretty widely separated, and those are just not typically the types of researchers that work together. So it certainly goes beyond that, the nearest neighbors. As a chemist, I'd say the nearest neighbors, and goes on to those broader partnerships. So we're really excited about that. But the really cool thing, and how it relates to what we're doing today, is the way in which integrative science integrates on other vectors or in other facets. And that is, for example, really thinking about how we connect basic research to translational research, to really drive those basic ideas out into industry. It's about the intersection of education and research, which I think is so well embodied within our internship programs. And it's also about connection to economic development, which will be a big theme today. We've chosen to implement integrative science, of course, in our programs, but in facilities, we've chosen to implement this in 3 phases so far. The first of those phases, many of you have seen, which is the Locate Labs. The second is the Lewis Integrative Science Building, where instead of the shared facilities that we have in the Locate Labs, in the Lewis Integrative Science Building, we're going to be bringing unique, disparate programs within that building that will have increasingly interesting connections, and I'll talk more about that. And in the third phase, we're talking about integrating actually at the bench level integrative science, where you actually have people from different disciplines at the same research bench doing their research. So those are the 3 phases. Let me just make a few comments about each of the first 2. The first phase, the Locate Labs, is really about creating an instrumentation magnet that would bring people from across campus, around the state, and around the world here to do cutting-edge research and also to work with each other. If you haven't seen the Locate Labs, you've got to go look. It's an amazing high-performance facility. It houses CAMCOR, our high-tech extension service. It houses industrial partners and partnership labs, so actual companies like Voxtel Corporation and Sony Corporation have labs within the building. And it's just generally a fantastic resource for the state and the region to do great research. The second phase of integrative science facilities is the new Lewis Integrative Science building. And if you explored this corner of campus on your way in today, you saw that the preparations are well underway. There's a hole in the ground. We're excited about that. It's been 2 years of planning to get to that point, and it's a really a big deal for us to be finally digging the ground out. That also leads to a bunch of other problems like noise and construction problems, but we'll handle those. What's exciting about this Lewis Integrative Science building is that it's going to bring together these types of disciplines that have not typically been co-housed. It's going to be the new home for Sunrise, which is our CAMCOR-like program, facilities for solar energy research and photovoltaic research. So Sunrise will be housed there. There'll be more partnership labs. There'll be extended facilities for CAMCOR. There'll be the Safer Nanomaterials and Nanomanufacturing Initiative and the Green Materials Center. There'll be research for solar fuels and photovoltaics, and the list goes on and on. Those will be commingled with activities in brain research, cancer research, and molecular biology. So if you're interested, there are posters here that show what the building's supposed to look like when it's completed. I think there are some more posters in the back as well. There's a website that will be coming out here in the next few weeks, rolling out in the next few weeks. This is very easy to remember, ISCI, I-S-C-I, .uoregon.edu. It's a great website with tons of information about the buildings, about the research that's going on in them, and I definitely encourage you to check it out in October. So we're aiming for completion in 2012. So hopefully when you come back 2 years from now, we're going to be doing tours of the new building. That's going to be very exciting, and we hope to see you back then. Just to wrap up here, I want to just echo the thank yous that have been made previously to all of our state and federal representatives that have made these facilities and these programs possible, our corporate partners, major private donors, the faculty and the administration who've worked so hard to make this vision a reality. And I hope that when you see these facilities, just think about these three things. They're outstanding facilities, they help recruit great people, and they're having, I think, a big impact on Oregon. And so for all of those that have supported it, we really appreciate that. So please enjoy the day. Check out these facilities on your tours. Check out the designs of the new building, and go Ducks.
We're really excited this morning because we have two speakers from the legislature, and it's my privilege now to introduce Representative Paul Holvey. Representative Holvey is the chair of the House Consumer Protection and Government Accountability Committee.
Well, good morning. It's great to see all the green here, and I'm going to start out with Go Ducks, because I am a huge duck fan, and one of the things that really strikes me is that when we talk about Go Ducks, we're also talking about academics. And I first got into the legislature, I had my eyes opened by some of the Rich Linton and Skip Rung here and a few others about ONAMI and the Material Sciences Institute, and really became excited about what they were doing, because it really is huge. And I think people in our area, in our state, really don't recognize the potential that we have with our university systems. And I'm talking about our economy to some degree. And even in this dismal situation we're in right now with an economy, I believe our university system, and especially CAMCOR and the Material Sciences Institute, OTRADI, BEST, all of these programs are just poised to launch us into better economic times, and this region is just, poised to really be a powerhouse. And this partnership that we have created, and largely because of the smart people in this room, with industry and utilizing the resources we have at the university here at Oregon State is just exciting to me. And I don't know why they asked me to speak about this, but because I'm a carpenter, but I love the machines that they have in the Locate Center. I love Camcor. It is just, it's unbelievable what they're able to do. And it's, we're looking at jobs and partnering with industry with a little bit of investment for the state. I wish we had the ability to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into programs like this. We would see our economy really taking off in this region, I believe, if we were able to do that, if we had a better funded revenue system to do that. But just with the little investment that we do make, the University of Oregon and Oregon State, these programs have really been a major plus to bringing industry here, life sciences, solar world, just with some policies to help them get going, and some policies and infrastructure investments that the state makes. It's really just a small investment, and it just has exponential outcomes. And it's just, I don't see how anybody could look at these sorts of programs and say, oh, we're spending too much money on this, because this is a return on our investment for the state. It's a return on our investment for jobs. Just the ability to have the academics and the theory partner with industry and go into applications in the real world through internships, and creating that workforce that the industry needs with the skills and the knowledge to step right into these very innovative opportunities that we have. This is really where we should be focused in this state. We need to focus on our clusters around, the high-tech industry. It is simply where we need to go. And it's going to really, I think, poise Oregon to be on the map. It is already, but people don't know about it yet. And I don't know how we're going to spread the word, but I think the word's spreading by itself. And I appreciate all the industries that partner with our university and really make these opportunities for our economy to move forward and provide jobs and really solve some of the world's toughest problems that we have coming at us, whether it's energy or disease, all of those things. This nanoscience world is just, it's very eye-opening. Pretty hard to see, but eye-opening. So thank you so much, and I appreciate everybody that shows the interest in this type of program, and I appreciate all the work that everybody does around this, whether you're from the academic world or the industry or and the president. Great new president here that I think is really going to try to put some focus on these types of directions for our state to go. And thank you very much, and go Ducks again.
The Material Science Institute has a new, very, very good friend, the Nlight Corporation. And to show what kind of friend he is, Joseph Lachapelle, the vice president of Nlight, has agreed to speak to us today.
Nlight Corporation is a company just across the river from Portland in Vancouver, Washington. We are a company that builds solid-state lasers. We are a global company. We typically are, I guess, probably for about the last 4 or 5 years, have been ranked in the top 25 fastest-growing technology companies in the Northwest. Our products are sold globally. Our competition is global. And we have just recently begun participating in the master's internship program. Myself personally, I've been involved with the program going back probably about 4 or 5 years now, both as participating as a small startup company where the benefits from that program were absolutely critical to us getting off the ground. That was actually a little startup company doing ultra-fast lasers in just up the road here in Corvallis. What I can say about the program in general is that in both cases, both at the startup and at Nlight Corporation, we participate really at one end of the value chain that gets all of the benefit. The program has supplied, gosh, now. In the case of the startup, we probably pulled about 4, actually 5 interns into our startup company. Out of those 5, I think 4 ended up being long-term employees. Most of those are still with me today in one form or another in my professional organizations. At Nlight this year, I think we expect to probably engage with probably 6 to 10 interns. I only see that growing as we move into the future. So from a recipient of the benefits of this program, I do have to say it's very significant. The program itself is quite unique, specifically here in the Northwest. The entrepreneurial motivations and attitudes that we see out of this program are right in line with the needs of Nlight in particular, but I think for most high-tech companies that are looking for very specific technical talent that they can be able to compete in a global environment. The ability for us to inform the content of the program has been absolutely phenomenal. I do have to say that the comments, the requirements, the intent that we typically present to the folks that are organizing and managing this program have all been almost implemented to 100%. And the results have just been fantastic for us. It's not very common that, at least in my experience, that you see a triple win, a trifecta of benefits that tend that all the participants get to benefit from. We see that the students, the university, and the corporation all get a major win out of this program. We would encourage everybody in the room that has a interest in this program to continue to build upon it. It has been a fantastic benefit to our business, and we again would encourage continued investment. We would encourage continued support. I do personally would like to thank both Farrell Ford and Chris Larson. I almost view them as extensions of our HR recruiting department. They have done a fantastic job for us, and we really appreciate your efforts and the efforts of the University of Oregon. Thank you.
Over the years, the Material Science Institute has worked very closely with the University of Oregon Foundation and with University Development. And this morning, we're honored that Michael Andreasen, Vice President for University Development, is here.
I just want to add my welcome and my thanks to all of you. This is truly an extraordinary and exciting time at the University of Oregon. I am now in my 3rd month learning to navigate the streets of Eugene and the campus community, but it's just been an amazing time for me to see all the great collaboration that's happening here in our sciences and across the academy. One of the things that strikes me so strongly is that at Oregon, you really understand the word partnership. From our state legislators to our donors who have helped make these great facilities happen, to our faculty and students, and to our corporate partners. You are part of this. This is part of your legacy, and we want to take a moment just to thank you for that. Your participation is critical. I think you can see from the comments made this morning and from the images of the future plans, our trajectory is strong. It is really fantastic. Whether it's from our master's internship program, which is giving great opportunity for our students to help develop economic vitality in the state, whether it's from our CAMCORE program, where you can use the latest technology. This is a true partnership. So as we think about the future and the importance of working together, I encourage you to not only continue what you've already done, but to expand upon it, to encourage others, as Joseph so well put, to come and take a look at what we're doing. We'll need you in the future. We want to have a very robust impact on our community. So I thank you. Enjoy the game today, and go Ducks.
About 20 years ago, my doorbell rang. I opened the door, and it was our next speaker, Nathanson. She was running, I think, for city council at the time, and we had a very nice chat. Anyway, as with all of our other speakers, we're honored that she is here today.
Hello, everyone. I want to speak for just a minute about the role of the university in the state and the local economy. The university is an economic engine for the entire state, accounting for well over $1 billion in direct and indirect spending each biennium. So now you get to see the influence of being in the legislature. We think in terms of biennia, not annual. For every $1 in state taxpayer support, the university pumps about $20 into the economy. That does not go unnoticed by people like my colleague, Representative Holvey, and me. Right here in the local area, the University of Oregon is the major player in the community, Eugene and Springfield, but its impact is woven through the community so seamlessly that much of the time it's generally unspoken. But you know, counting the students, faculty, staff of this place, it's an energetic city within a city, really. Out of more than 200 incorporated cities in the state of Oregon, this university is bigger than 3/4 of the state's cities. This is a place. It's important to acknowledge the tangible, not just the theoretical benefits. $26 million in 2009 and 10, generated by 16 Oregon-based companies with intellectual property portfolios tied to this university. A report by the National Governors Association and the Pew Center stresses the importance of state investment in innovation, research, and development, and it pays dividends. We know about those dividends of new companies and jobs. The state has been making strategic investments, maybe not as much as we would like to when our economy and the state's revenue stream improves. Nevertheless, even when things were getting tight, the state continued to make strategic investments, such as ETIC, Engineering and Technology Industry Council, ONAMI, Oregon Nanoscience and Microtechnologies Institute, and BEST. Everybody has to figure out the great acronyms. Oregon Built Environment and Sustainable Technologies Center, that's BEST. Allowing these programs to grow, to create facilities and purchase equipment to help train our workforce and serve, in a way, as a high-tech extension service to industry. These investments yield homegrown, highly skilled workers that you've been hearing about this morning, applied scientists, reducing employers' need to import talent, and we like to have our own talent grown here and then make use of it. We're decreasing employer costs, that's part of the intent, and we want to make Oregon more attractive to do business. These investments are giving Oregon businesses a competitive advantage by advancing practices and products and developing new products and ways of doing things. You're attracting grant dollars, expertise, and resources, and the external funding that's coming from these other resources is feeding the local and state economy. We do notice, we do support that. My colleagues across the country talk about green jobs and green technology, so I don't want to talk about that today. Everybody acknowledges, let's just stipulate that. You've heard it before, so I want to take this just a step further and give you a small challenge. Of course I'm interested in what we make and how we make it. From green chemistry to medical technology, the wind turbines and the language tests. For the materials that we produce and ship, we need you to help us figure out better ways to get products to market across the nation and across the globe. We need you to help us improve Oregon's rail system, which is at capacity and choked. Yet rail is full of promise for moving trucks off highways and moving people between these economic engines, like universities and airports. How are we going to do that? I hope that some of you in the room today are part of the answer, part of the solution for the technology and the things that will help us improve our system that gets our products to market. You're going to be critical players in helping us answer big picture questions like energy, how to make energy better, how energy is cleaner, and how to use less energy, the research and development, and then the production that follows. I want to join everyone else in giving the thanks to the companies represented here today for making these programs successful, and to the university, which is working so hard on these collaborative projects. Your mentoring, guidance, and feedback is making it all work. You are the leaders, and you are the bridge between ideas and reality. So I join everyone else in applauding your efforts today. Thank you.
Several speakers today have mentioned our internship program. And one of the great joys of being in the chemistry department is that I teach in the summer internship program. I teach in the polymers and coatings program. And you know, every student we have is excellent. Some students are just a little more excellent than others, however. And so we like to acknowledge the students and give out an alumni award each year, sometimes several alumni awards. And so this year it's my honor to introduce Rob Loomis, who is National Technical Sales Manager at the Willamette Valley Company, who is going to introduce our alumni award winner this year, Paul Rogers.
When Chris Larson first contacted me to let me know that Paul had been nominated and was going to be given this award, I was excited for Paul. Paul has been an excellent contributor to our company, and for him to be recognized for his efforts and his dedication and his work, not only academically but also professionally, I think is wonderful to see. So again, I would like to start by first of all thanking the Material Science Institute, the staff and the faculty, for all the effort that they put into training and teaching these students who become chemists, who become contributors, and who become innovators in our industry. So it's certainly something I'd like to express to everybody here, that we really appreciate all the effort you guys do. Willamette Valley Company, I've been with for several years, and we would share a very similar testimony as Nlight does in terms of the work that the internships program has done for us and the benefits we've received as a corporation. And so it's wonderful to see and hear other companies have similar experiences, because as Nancy has brought out in her comment about rail, that's actually one of the largest industries that we work within as a corporation. So we're heavily invested in that industry, and so Paul has contributed in that quite a bit and very significantly. So it's very, very much a pleasure to be here and to hear similar testimonies and to be able to share this experience and to be able to pass this award on to Paul. To give you a little bit of insight as the person behind the award, I'd like to share with you a few comments. I mean, I could spend actually telling a few stories, but I won't do that, because there's one common denominator in all the stories, and that is Paul can be described in just a few words in the way he works and his character. But the first word that comes to mind is passion. He's very passionate about whatever he does. And so he's brought that passion into the lab to the point of whenever there's a difficult project or whenever there's something that's very challenging, Paul is the person that you can depend on, you can lean on to actually take that project and go across the goal line. And you know he would do it with his full energy and his enthusiasm and especially his passion. But he might not tell you this, but there's one other word that might describe him, and that's fast. He's very fast. He's actually, I think it's a regional champion of autocross. I mean, he's 3-time champion of autocross. So, I mean, so there's another word that describes him as fast. And so it's exciting to work with him. As his manager, I never felt like I really had to manage him as much as I just had to facilitate and make sure he doesn't run over the cones. So anyhow, but again, it's my pleasure to be here, and especially my pleasure to present this award to Paul. I think he deserves it, and I think it's great that he's been recognized for all of his efforts.
Thank you. Thank you for those words, Rob. I appreciate it. And so as I understand it, this award has assured me that my student loan debt is now paid in full. Is that right, Chris? Oh, okay. I'd like to thank the MSI program for this award and the opportunities it has provided me professionally. In 2002, I began my employment with the Willamette Valley Company as a technician after getting my bachelor's degree from the University of Oregon. Over the years, I continued to ask for ways to improve and ask for promotion to made chemist. At one point, I was told, look, Paul, go get your master's degree, and it'll give you a pathway forward to what you want. In 2006, I took a leave from Willamette Valley and began the MSI program in polymer chemistry. My most indelible memory was enrolling and struggling through Haley's advanced organic chemistry class. This after an 8-year hiatus from organic chemistry, and I'm sure you can remember if he's here today, my constant badgering in his office hours. When my classwork was complete, I returned to Willamette Valley to complete my internship. After I earned my master's degree in material science and continued my employment at Willamette Valley, and finally got what I always wanted, which was my own office. I'd like to thank Willamette Valley and the MSI program for blessing me with the opportunities granted by a great partnership between industry and academia. The great partnership has allowed me to grow myself both professionally and personally. And to conclude, go Ducks.
That concludes our formal program this morning. I think we should thank all of the speakers. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot this morning. So thank you.